Alright, so next we have the AFC South. So you got the Jaguars, Texans, Colts, Titans. So first off, we got the Jaguars, who have done phenomenal in free agency.
I
feel like that.
I'm calling it. They're making the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have to. Some injuries have to happen, and some other team has to go nuts for them to not make the playoffs. Especially in the AFC, it's a little not as tough a competition.
That
as
division's terrible. They could easily win that division.
The Texans could also easily make something happen if Brock Osweiler could play good. And
I feel like this division in 1 year's time has gone from one of the worst to they're actually competitive now.
They are. AJ says they're bad. I disagree. If Andrew Luck plays good, the Colts are phenomenal.
Yeah, I feel like the Colts are gonna have a good bounce
If Brock
back.
Osweiler could pick up and do better than he even did in Denver, and Lamar Miller could finally get the role that Arian Foster had there, Lamar Miller could go nuts, and as well as Osweiler, so
if
the Texans could
touches.
do good. Yeah, but that's the Dolphins going to give him his touches,
And that's
not the Texans.
like Nick
so
said, that's assuming they give him the role that Arian Foster had with all those touches.
Yeah, and then the Jaguars, of course, are a really good team, and the Titans made some huge moves this year. So it's very interesting to see what goes down with that division. But going back to the Jaguars, they released offensive lineman Zane Beadles and defensive lineman Chris Clemens, who freed up a lot of space for them. They signed Malik Jackson to 6 years, $90 million, over $40 million guaranteed. Signed, yeah, that's a lot of money.
For a role player.
Exactly, especially for a rotational player who didn't start last year. That's a lot.
Even though he played huge, I heard one of the people on NFL Network said that he was as disruptive as J.J. Watt was.
Okay.
Which I found very, very interesting. You don't get paid 6 years, $90 million for being a rotational player. You did something pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. It's just that he's not proven yet. Like, we'll see if he's proven with that type of money.
Which is also, I think, $40 million of it was guaranteed. They're guaranteeing that's a big investment for a player that hasn't been
investment
for someone that hasn't, been a consistent starter.
Yeah.
But if you think about
but
that,
they kind of took that risk with Julius Thomas as well, which aside from injury was seeming as well. It was going to pay off for them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know if that was a product of Peyton Manning. Because, what was it? Peyton Manning came, Julius Thomas became this crazy tight end, then a year or two later, he went to the Jaguars. There wasn't much consistency either. Seems like the Jaguars pick up all the players from the Broncos that are in free agency. But they also picked up running back Chris Ivory, 5 years, $30 million. Which, another thing, the Jets are going to destroy fantasy running backs, and so are the Jaguars, because T.J. Yeldon and Chris Ivory
and Denard Robinson
and Denard Robinson
but if you think
all
about,
splitting time.
Not from a fantasy perspective.
Oh no, not from fantasy.
If you think about this from an NFL perspective, they have Blake Bortles, one of the top, in my opinion, one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, maybe even better. Then there's Chris Ivory, Denard Robinson, T.J. Yeldon, Allen Hurts, Allen Robinson, Julius Thomas.
Yeah, they're gonna. That's what I'm saying.
That offense is like.
And they re-signed Mercedes Lewis in case Julius Thomas goes down again.
And they also made a big move on defense with Deshaun Gibson. I feel like that's
gonna be nice for them at safety, and of course Malik Jackson as well. So they built another team like the Raiders built their team up from a very young standpoint and are looking to win not only now but for many years to come. And so, aside from fantasy, great team, great job. Then they also signed punter Brad Norman, as we said, signed safety Deshaun Gibson, and released running back Toby Gerhart. And those were all the moves at the Jaguars.
What a bust Toby Gerhart was.
Yes, absolutely. He was looking like he was promising when he was with the Vikings, but after that it was nothing.
All downhill.
Yeah. Next is the Texans. They are expected to release Brian Hoyer at some point, so watch out for the Jets, the Broncos, everybody.
I heard that they were going to pick him up if they couldn't get Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, so expect that. They released Arian Foster, which was surprising, but also understandable due to a bunch of injuries and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't know they had the cap to sign Brock Osweiler to that crazy deal and still sign Lamar Miller. So
I can actually pull up their cap. They actually had like a decent sum when they released Arian Foster. They cut a lot of it out.
Yeah, they had really more.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They really did have a lot more quality than quantity.
Yeah, that's for sure. So but going back to Brock Osweiler, we spoke about it a decent amount when we spoke about the Broncos. Extremely overpaid. There was no reason to give him that much money at all.
And also, I checked. They signed those two players and still had enough for $15 million in the cap right now. So that's
So
pretty
they were
impressive.
high.
Yeah.
They were probably up like 40 million, 40, 50, somewhere around there.
Has to be around there.
And then they got Lamar Miller, so that's going to be very interesting. So that's about it. Then you got the Colts. Re-signed.
Didn't make many moves.
No, not at all. Barely made anything. Just the Colts re-signed Dwayne Allen.
Really quick with the Dwayne Allen thing. His contract is 4 years, $29 million or $30 million, right? He only caught 16 passes last year.
Yeah, I feel like signing him to big money. Well, not big money, but signing him and letting Kobe Fleener walk in general. I just feel like that was a bad move.
Because like $30 million is 4 years, $30 million. That's what I can't do math right now.
4 years, $30 million. That's
over
over
7
$7 million.
$7 million a year for a guy that caught 16 passes last year.
Yeah, and was injured.
I mean, I feel like he's more of a schematic, like run blocker though.
Yeah,
I don't feel like he's a pass catching.
What I found very interesting was why would they re-sign Dwayne Allen other than maybe he's a run blocker like you said. He can catch, as we know, but he's also very injury prone. But Kobe Fleener and Andrew Luck both went to Stanford together. Both were at college teammates and both had a great connection throughout high school and into college and into the NFL. So it was interesting to see that they let Kobe go but kept Dwayne.
Yeah.
They re-signed Adam Vinatieri, who's going to be like 100 years old by the time
He's
he
41
leaves.
already. Holy
By
crap.
the time he leaves the NFL. And Andre Johnson was released. Do you think any team's going to pick up Andre Johnson?
I
He says
wouldn't.
he could play.
I wouldn't.
I think he even said he could play for like another 3 to 4 years, which I
don't-
found very interesting.
If someone's gonna pick him up, it's gonna be like that Randy Moss role, like a 3, like a
It's going to be a team that's ready for the Super Bowl.
exactly, and like
he's just trying to...
like what the 49ers do with Randy Moss, they put him in as like the number 3 wide receiver and put him in certain situations where
And
like,
also,
he's just gonna
yeah.
get the ball.
And also to teach. He's going to be like most quarterbacks bringing like a Ryan Fitzpatrick to teach somebody young that's for cheap. They could get Andre Johnson, who's possibly most likely going to be a Hall of Famer, and could teach their young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we got the Titans, who released Michael Griffin, who's a Pro Bowl safety 2-3 years ago. Signed Rashard Matthews, who I think was a horrible loss for the Dolphins, but a great signing for the Titans.
Yeah, he could be their number 1 receiver.
Yeah, because God only knows what's going on with the receivers in Tennessee. They signed Matt Castle, I guess just to help Mariota, I guess, was there.
More of a...
Like a teaching type role?
Yeah, I guess so, because they already have a solid backup in Nettenberger.
Yeah.
So I guess more of a mentor role, I guess.
Yeah. And then they re-signed Antonio Andrews before, I believe, they got this DeMarco Murray trade, which is, they basically got DeMarco Murray for nothing. They swapped 4th round picks with the Eagles. That was basically trading away DeMarco Murray for nothing. And that's about it. So that wraps up the AFC. Real quick, I just want to say that who do you guys think, which division won the most in free agency?
Gotta be the AFC. Well, for
the AFC.
Yeah,
sorry.
gotta be the South. So
Yeah,
far.
gotta be the AFC South.
I feel like they made the biggest moves.
Because of the
I think
Jaguars
it's-
and the Texans.
Yeah, it's either the AFC South or the AFC West, because the Raiders and Chargers and Chiefs did really good, but the Broncos hold them
Iffy.
down, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I have to go with the AFC South. I think as a whole, they made the most decisions.
Yeah, they're gonna
decisions
be
and improve their division.
Yeah,
the most.
they're gonna be much more competitive than they were last year.
Exactly. You know what I could kind of see them becoming? Similar to the NFC, I can't think of which, West, I believe, or
Niners.
with the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Cardinals. That's that very competitive division. But that's it. That wraps up the AFC for free agency, and next we'll be going with the NFC East.